Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. I hope you're all okay. So I just thought it won't be very long like this because it's been a long day, but I wanted to come on and just talk about this search for Sebastian Rogers. How strange, wasn't it? We watched the press conference yesterday, which virtually did not give any information away except about the pair of glasses that had been found. Everyone's still a suspect, no evidence of foul play. And then we find out this morning, this massive search was undertaken. The glasses that were found were not Sebastian's. That has been confirmed. They are not Sebastian's glasses. So we're sort of back where we were, really. Still no sign of him at all. Unfortunately, this poor boy, what has happened to him? Where has he gone? So we're going to just learn a little bit more about the search. We're going to look at some people, some new. We're going to look at some other videos of what people make of it, etc. But yeah, it's a real mystery. I think this is such a. Obviously every case we ever cover, that we ever talk about, is a complete mystery. But this one just seems that bit more of a mystery to me. I know that probably sounds silly, but because where did he go without his shoes, first of all? Has he just, have they had an argument? Uh, you know, Look, there's a lot of aspersions cast against the parents, well, the mother and the stepfather. Now, was the stepfather there? Honestly, the things I've seen on other YouTube channels, there is too much speculation because we do not know anything. I like to deal in facts. I can't speculate even the history that the stepfather has. You just, we don't know enough yet. And when I watched them being interviewed on Nancy Grace, I wasn't, normally I get a feeling, but if I think somebody's telling the truth or lie, I've sort of lost. Now I've learned you do have to wait until you have more information, because sometimes the best liars, the ones who seem genuine, and the worst liars are the ones, because they're not making an effort. They're not making an effort for people to believe them. Sometimes it's the person that's the most earnest, and you think, oh yeah, they seem convincing. They must be telling the truth. They're the ones that are lying, and the ones that seem like they're lying because they're really not making any attempt to pretend to lie, if you like. They're the ones that are telling the truth. So, in other words, I don't know. But I know that there is an awful lot of speculation. I know that. And there's speculation about all sorts of things, which there always is, of course, isn't there, in cases? I know that. But I'm trying not to speculate. I'm trying to just deal with what we know, which unfortunately is not an awful lot, is it? So Sebastian just disappeared. People don't just disappear. How often do we hear that? But it seems that Sebastian did. And not only just disappeared, but he didn't have any shoes on, because all his shoes have been accounted for in the house. So, that does cast suspicion, doesn't it? Because you think, well, where's he going to go without his shoes? This boy was 15 years old. He was autistic. Where's he going to go without? Why would he go out without his shoes on? It's not comfortable, is it, to walk without shoes outside? And if he's autistic, he especially, won't want to do that, because he'll want everything just right. Anyone who's got any experience with anyone on the autism spectrum, that everything's got to be just right, isn't it? And just one little thing, like not having shoes on and standing on a stone or whatever, would, send you, you'd have a meltdown. Unless he ran out, unless there was an argument and he ran out and, without thinking. because I don't know enough really about the family dynamics. You know, were there regular arguments in that household? You know, we just don't know. And anyway, so let me just say hello to everybody before I get right into it. Hi, Chumba. Hope you're feeling better. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Desi. Complete mystery, isn't it, Desi? Hi, Kelly. The other Kelly, we've got two Kellys on now. We've got Kelly D and just Kelly. Hi, Charlie. Everyone's tired. I think I'm always tired. It's really strange, and I haven't quite this clock going forward this week. I haven't caught up with it yet at all. Anyway, let's just have a quick look at him first of all. I'm sure you all know what he looks like because his face has been sort of plastered over everything, hasn't it, recently? And it was just strange, that search, after we watched the press conference, didn't we? Well, we couldn't hear it very well, though. We're going to watch a little bit of it on this video that we're going to watch, and you can hear it properly, which is good, because it was quite annoying because we couldn't actually hear it very well. But there seemed to be no news, you know, just that these glasses had been found. But now they have confirmed they are not his glasses. So we can't say anything by that. So where have they been searching? So they've searched this sort of stretch of road, a massive search. Let me tell you what they've... so a massive search underway Wednesday morning. So of course it's, oh God, in the UK, sorry, in America now it's the next morning, is it? It's Thursday morning now, I presume there. Anyway, yeah, it's been described as a massive search. And it came one day after authorities said they would renew their search effort, but they didn't say, oh, we're going searching tomorrow. So they're keeping things close to the chest, of course, which is what they should do. Anyway, apparently dozens of professional searchers have been called in by Sumner County EMS Sheriff's Office to canvass the entire area, a 6 to 10 mile radius. Sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and more coming in from counties across Middle Tennessee to help. Many officers, 2 boats, utility vehicles, and the plan is apparently, or was, for them to recanvass the area that has already been covered, looking for anything that maybe was missed during the original search or anything new that has appeared. So it was an organised search by professionals. So it wasn't encouraged for people to come and help with the search. It was a search that was only organised by the professionals, and it was supposed to take all of today and maybe go into tomorrow. So this search may continue today, if you like. Let's have a look at the video. Oh, what would I? Oh, that was sorry. Let me just make sure I don't turn the wrong. Yeah, let's have a look at this video. This is from the local newspaper, the News Channel Nashville.
As we speak this morning to look for Sebastian Rogers. Nick is live in the 5 Alert Center. And Nick, you have some exclusive details on what you've learned is a large new response by professionals with boots on the ground looking for Sebastian.
That's exactly right, Amy. Yes, this coming to us one day after authorities told us in a news conference that they would renew that search effort, true to their word, it is happening this morning, all right? Now, we know that there is a staging area as we speak right now across from Shackle Island Volunteer Fire Department near the Hendersonville neighborhood where Sebastian disappeared more than 5 weeks ago. Now, I'm told dozens of professional searchers have been called in by Sumner County EMS to canvass the entire area. We're talking a 6 to 10 mile radius that's been covered already before. We're talking sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and more coming in from counties across Middle Tennessee to help this morning. So far, I know that we've heard reports of seeing several officers, 2 boats, utility vehicles already in the staging area. The plan is for them to recanvass an area that's already been covered. And here we have video just into our newsroom of that staging area. There's the officers there, and then lots of vehicles on scene. They're going to be looking for anything that was perhaps missed during the original search, or maybe something new that's appeared over the past 5 weeks. Again, you just saw there one of the boats or the cruise ships, or actually, there you go. You see right now some of the rafts being brought in by trucks, and a large response here coming out. Now, this, I want to make the point, is not in response to any new development or something they're checking on. This is just a continuation of the search effort. It's going to be an organized grid search by professionals. Residents in the neighborhood certainly will see these officers today out walking around the area. It's expected to take all of today, maybe into tomorrow and beyond, depending on how much ground they covered. The concern was what the weather would be like this morning. But as you see, we do have a crew on the ground right now. We'll be following along with them, but a very large new search effort for Sebastian Rogers underway as we speak in the neighborhood. More details to come.
So strange that, isn't it? Because it came, after they'd been saying there was nothing, basically. Or they did, I mean, to be fair to the guy, he did say they would continue searching. But, they had that press conference, which for a lot of us, we thought was a bit of a pointless press conference, because what's the point in having a press conference when you have no news? You could just make a press statement, couldn't you? You could just make a press release. Of course, they know when they announce a press conference, everyone's going to be expectant, aren't they? Thinking, something's going to come out here, something's going to come out. Now, just actually, before we look at this video, I just want to read to you. This what I'm reading now. I'll share it as well. So this is from the Independent, which confirms that the new search underway for Sebastian Rogers, but the investigators confirm the glasses that were found are not his glasses. So that's important that people know that, because because they're not. So a pair of glasses found in the area where teenager Sebastian Rogers disappeared in Tennessee did not belong to him, investigators confirmed. So he's like gone into the ether, hasn't he? Now, of course, we do not know. We do not know what CCTV they've got, what they haven't got. There's supposed to be some door cam footage, but then they're keeping that close to their chest, aren't they? Anyway, at a press briefing on Tuesday, so Eric Craddock, that quite handsome chief deputy, confirmed that the glasses had been found with an investigation underway. But having said that, then this morning they issued an update saying it wanted to clarify that eyeglasses recently found are not related to Sebastian Rogers. So as they renewed the search on this very sort of dramatically named highway, Long Hollow Pike, it was fabulous, some of the names in America. Long Hollow Pike, just north of Hendersonville. That's where they've been searching this highway now. Not sure why they're searching that highway. Have they got a reason that they're searching that highway? But anyway, they've already searched it, or the area close to where he vanished, but they're searching again. I've got, I don't know, I've got this horrible feeling about Sebastian, and I don't necessarily think that the family are involved. I don't know where he is. I honestly do not know where he is or what has happened to him. I'm not getting any sort of instinct or feeling, about it at all. And you can only hope that it'd be found alive somewhere. But after all this time, can that be possible? But which reminds me, I must light my candle because I turned it off earlier. Turned it off. I blew it out earlier because I just popped out. Let's get the candle lit again. Yeah, because in other news, we have no other news of Samantha Murphy either. As far as Riley Strain's concerned, we're waiting to hear what the results are of the toxicology and his parents' second autopsy, the family's second autopsy. Anna Knezevich in Madrid, no news. There's no news about anything at the moment. And so this was big news that they'd done, undertaken this massive search again. Anyway, so he said, or the SCSO said, despite exhaustive efforts, there are no new leads or evidence to indicate that the search will be immediately fruitful. So they're at pains to say they're not doing this search because they've got new evidence. They're just doing it as part of the ongoing investigation. And then they said, we are committed to leaving no stone unturned in our mission to locate Sebastian and bring him home safely. Now, of course, that's something that they say a lot, this no stone unturned. I'm sort of getting a bit sick of it. And that's what they said about little Cello in the river in Leicester, and they haven't managed to find him at all. It just feels at the moment, all these missing people, they can't see. I mean, at least they do have someone in custody for Samantha's murder, charged with murder, but where is she? She needs bringing home to her family. They need to bring, so, I mean, I'm sure they're trying their best to do it. I don't mean to criticize them that way, but just feel that all these, at least Riley was found, and at least he's been taken home to his family. It's a cold comfort, but it's a comfort. Anyway, photos and video from the scene showed officers scouring the area on foot, climbing through thickets alongside creeks, while rafts were also brought in. Now, when I was reading this, I was reminded of, many of you might remember, maybe a lot of you won't remember, because it was during all the Nicola Bulley, build up to the inquest, etc. But last year there was a woman went missing in Missouri, Madeline Kingsbury, and she was finally found, and her partner is very soon. He's going to be on trial for her murder. But it took a long time to find her because of the area. Sounds a little bit like this. Searchers are conducting grid searches, climbing through thickets along creeks as this search goes on. Let's have a look at the video. These terrains, they're difficult, to maneuver. I mean, you would need it, because just looking at that now, you can see that a body could easily be buried under the foliage. How are they supposed to see it? Needs a dog, doesn't it? Needs a dog to find a body. But, they think they're looking for a body. It's possible, isn't it? But it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult terrain to negotiate. It's difficult terrain to search. Is this a show search, do you think? Because I just don't see how they're going to find anything like that. Is it me, or how they're going to find how they're going to find a body doing that? They haven't even got a stick. Where's the dog? Where's the stick? There could be 5 bodies there that they could have gone past, hidden. Is it just me? I mean, wouldn't you at least need a stick to prod about? What is this? Oh. How would they possibly find a body without a dog or a stick there? Just makes you wonder sometimes. Is it a bit of a show search? Because I know, because I've heard detectives saying sometimes they do that. They search in one area so everyone concentrates on that area, and then, you know, they go off and go and search somewhere else. So Miss Nyland said on Tuesday it's gone back to what could be considered, and she, Miss Nyland, Susan Nyland, she's from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and she said it's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work, interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking leads, rechecking leads. And yeah, so that's what the Independent has to say. But the main news they were talking about there was the fact that the glasses that are found are definitely not Sebastian's. And everyone keeps saying, please be aware that a lot of false information is being posted through multiple social media channels. I do think there is a lot of false information being shared, you know, even though I am social media and I normally stick up for social media, but I think it's gone a bit silly in this case, some of the things that people are saying. So he's been gone since the 25th of February, and he's not been seen since he went to bed then. And she says she went to get him up for school the next day and he was gone. And law enforcement are repeatedly saying there is no evidence of foul play. Now, of course, that does not mean there is no foul play, because they were saying that about the Samantha Murphy case as well. And the thing is, if they do suspect foul play, and if they do suspect the mother or the stepfather or whoever it is they suspect, they don't want them to know that they're suspected. So we've got to keep all that in mind. They have got to play their cards close to their chest, haven't they? Anyway, so now we're going to have a look at a video. And this is a court TV video with Vinny. I can't remember his second name. It begins with P. But anyway, we've watched him several times. I think he's quite good, especially he was good in the Madeline Soto case with the analysis that he did, etc. So let's have a look what he's got to say about it all.
In Hendersonville, Tennessee, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers should be safe, asleep in his bed, in his home. But now everyone is wondering, was he home? Was he safe? Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, says she went to wake up Sebastian for school, but when she went to get him up, he wasn't there. She looked in the house. He wasn't there. He was gone, vanished. After she called 911, the law enforcement search was on. It was wide, it was extensive, but yet again, no sign of Sebastian. Katie believes he left the home barefoot with his glasses, but where would he go? Why would he leave?
Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it? You know, he left the house barefoot. An autistic boy, I know some of you out there have got experience with autistic children. Could you imagine them leaving the house barefoot? You know, it just doesn't make sense. So unless he ran out like, I can't imagine it. Anyway, he's ran out, but he's had his glasses with him.
How could no one find him? Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, shares custody and has been out searching for his son. Meanwhile, Katie says her husband had to go back to work out of town, and Katie left her home to be with him. Tonight, we have an update from law enforcement.
So Now, this video must have been made before the glasses were cut. Just to let you know, this video must have been made before the glasses were confirmed not to be Sebastian's. And of course, remember they did do a landfill search as well, which I thought there was a reason why they did that. I mean, God, I can imagine what a horrible job that is, just going through all the rubbish, all the crap, looking for, you know, whatever. I mean, that's such a difficult job, going through a landfill, you know, apart from being a revolting job, you know, it just, that again, like this expression, a needle in a haystack, bloody hell, you know, looking for a landfill definitely is. So, you know, oh, and I just want, so yeah, Sebastian's stepfather, he's gone back to work now, hasn't he? Like, he works quite a distance away. He said on we watched the Nancy Grace interview, they said they were living in, like, in his trailer, weren't they, or in his lorry or whatever. She's gone with him. She's left the home as well. And that seems like a strange thing to me, because if your child had gone missing, you wouldn't want to move away from the house, would you? Because he might come back there. Having said that, she said that after all this time has gone, she feels that if he could have come back, he would have come back. But I don't know if I would leave that house. But also, I do understand that they've been getting a lot of hassle. They've been getting a lot of hassle from people. So, you know, it's a horrible situation, because if they are innocent, I don't know if they're guilty or they're innocent. I don't know. But if they are innocent, it's awful what they're having to go through, you know. So, who knows? But that's, you know, time will tell.
We'll take a look at the latest, break down the timeline, and take a look at the search as we investigate the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And where is Sebastian Rogers? Where is he? This case, it's as if he just disappeared and vanished. But that doesn't happen. That can't happen. That's impossible. It doesn't work that way. Either something happened to him and someone did something, or he left the house, or someone broke into the house and took him, a 15-year-old. But something had to happen here.
I think it'd be quite difficult to take him, wouldn't it? Because he was 15 years old. I think, you know, I don't know how tall he was or how heavy he was. I think I read somewhere he was 100 pounds. But I'm not very good with weight, so I'm not sure how that what that would be in stones or kilos. But yeah, it's not easy to take a 15-year-old out of the house, is it? So where is he? Where is this boy? Oh, and there's something. Anyway, I'll look at that in a minute. There's something else I want to look at, but we'll watch this first.
Yet, a month into this, it seems like the public, the family, everyone's kind of clueless as to what happened here. How does a 15-year-old just vanish like that? Who's at home with his mom? How does that happen? It doesn't make sense to me that there wouldn't be some level of some obvious clue, whether it's something happening in the house or something happening before they came back to the house, or evidence that he left, whether he ran away or was going to meet someone, or if there was some text message or something on his phone, but like none of that.
So Charlie's just saying there that 100 pounds is about 45 kilograms. Well, so our German Shepherd, she's less than 30 kilos. I couldn't pick her up, you know, and my son can pick her up, but he's like, you know, 6'5" and built, you know, got muscles, etc. I certainly wouldn't be able to pick up our German Shepherd. And if at 45 kilos is more or less double that, isn't it? So yeah, he's not a light, just a, it's not like a little child to pick up. He's a substantial weight, although obviously not as heavy as an adult weight. But you know what? How could somebody have got him out of there without being seen on any cameras? That's what I want to talk about in a minute. There were some cameras, weren't there?
One of those obvious things that we see in so many cases, as we saw in the Madeline Soto case, became very obvious very quickly. Like this one, no. It's the same day Madeline Soto went missing. But you look at what people are saying, and I'm listening, and it's like, okay, he's gone, but that doesn't just happen. People don't just vanish. Now, what we're hearing from law enforcement is that all the parents are cooperating. His mother and father aren't married anymore. His mother is remarried, so he has a stepfather, and law enforcement is reporting that everyone's cooperating. No one's like lawyering up. No one's shutting down. So to whatever that means, to that extent, there's no seeming pushback at all. That there's a level of cooperation, which is huge, which is important, because every investigation begins with those who are closest to the victim, the one who's missing here. And you've got to understand and investigate them and get information from them.
Yeah, now I found that surveillance footage, that like door cam footage. We have watched it once before, I remember now, but I'm going to play it again after this.
That information is most crucial in all of this. So mom and stepdad cooperating. However, stepdad's got to go back to work, so he left the area. And mom has now left the house as well to be with him, working out of town because of the type of work he does. Meanwhile, his father is searching, going out there and literally looking for his son. And it's been a month. That's a long time.
Yeah, so the father has been out searching. As far as I know, the stepfather and the mother have not been out actually searching. I mean, this is. I feel like this is always a. Well, as far as I know, they haven't been out searching. And I mean, if that was my son, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would be out searching, and then searching again, and then searching again. I do feel that strange. Why are they not out searching, calling his name, looking for him? That I do find a little bit strange.
Disappearance began the same day as Madeline Soto. And you think about the two cases where
oh yeah, and so he went missing on the same day as Madeline Soto. When you think about that, he's right what he's saying. She was found quickly, wasn't she? Really, she was found within a couple of days. But obviously, they must have had more. They had more evidence there. I think they've got quite a lot of evidence, haven't they? But they still have not charged anyone with Madeline's murder. That's another thing that still hasn't happened yet. Nobody has been charged with Madeline's murder, and we don't know what's going on with the mother, if she's under any suspicion or anything. A lot of people think she may have had. I personally do not think that Jen had anything to do with that. I think she's been silly as far as Stefan's been concerned, but I don't know if I think that she was involved in it. But again, time will tell.
We are in one versus the other. And the longer it takes, the more worried you get that they're not going to be able to figure this out. Not going to be able to find him. I mean, could he have tiptoed out and is hiding somewhere or running away from something or exploring or doing something? You don't just vanish. It doesn't work that way. it just doesn't work that way. There has to be something that can lead to what happened here. So today we got an update.
Now, one thing that I do want to say, though, about that, if the mother was involved in this case, she could have said, yeah, he had his shoes on. The police would not have known what shoes he had and didn't have. Do you see what I'm saying? So the mother could have said, oh, yeah, his shoes have gone, you know, to make it look more, you know, imagine that she's involved. So if she was trying to make it look more like he'd run off, why did she say, oh no, all the shoes are accounted for in the house, he hasn't got his shoes on? Because that casts more suspicion, doesn't it? Do you see what I'm saying? That's strange, isn't it? Surely if she was trying to cover up, she would have just said, oh yeah, he had his shoes on. So I'm not sure why she would say that if she was guilty. Anyway.
From investigators. And you listen to the information, and whenever you have one of these updates, and they do it because there's pressure on investigators. They know how big the story is, how big the case is. They know how desperate family members are and the community, and people want to help, and people are looking for information. And there's also the factor of, by speaking, you put it back into the news cycle, and Sebastian's face will be, once again, will be in places all over the internet, on television, and other places. So I want you to take a look and a listen to this, and there's a little bit of new information in there, but there are some important things that were said today. It wasn't the longest press conference.
Yeah, it wasn't the longest press conference because they didn't have anything to say. But anyway, he's going to show some of the press conference now, which is good because you remember the sound was terrible. Well, they seem to have sorted the sound out, and we can actually hear what this handsome sheriff has got to say.
But it was significant. Let's take a listen.
Sebastian has been missing since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home.
The parents have been cooperative throughout. At the beginning of the investigation, they have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because they keep saying that, but I do remember they said that for quite a long time in the Samantha Murphy case. So, oh, look at his little face. You know, they said that about Samantha Murphy until they didn't they? They went on for ages saying no suspicious circumstances, no suspicious circumstances. Then it was, oh, yeah, it's a bit suspicious. And then it was, oh, yeah, she's dead and we've arrested someone and charged him with murder. So what she's saying at this moment, they may have some evidence. We don't know, but what she's basically saying is we haven't got enough evidence to actually charge anyone or arrest anyone. So I wouldn't say, you know, they had no evidence, but they haven't got enough.
Know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now, so we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe.
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian?
We are still investigating.
Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive. Yes. We're going to continue.
Now, just going back, just in case anyone's coming in later and they don't know, the glasses are not Sebastian. So this guy, he confirmed, didn't he, during the press conference that some glasses had been found, but then later on it was confirmed definitely they are not Sebastian's glasses. So they do not have his glasses. And the other thing I just wanted to say is what Desi said there, you know, I wonder who it is that they're referring to particular YouTubers, I think, or social, you know, it might not be YouTubers, anyone who's on social media. But to be honest, I think, you know, it could be any one of 10. Of some of the things I've seen, I just thought, oh my God, you know, I do agree. I don't like it when really, really outlandish theories are put out or accusations with no justification, because that causes problems for all YouTubers and all social media people, you know, because when people say things without any justification or proof, it does give a bad name to others. So, you know, do try and stick to facts.
You to work on this investigation and follow up every tip and lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian. Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian.
Okay.
Now, notice he said FBI Secret Service. So, you know, there's a lot going on, again, as always, bubbling under the surface.
Okay, a couple of things from that. First, you know, social media. Social media is important to keep the story in the news, keep Sebastian's face in the news. There's a downside. You know, there's a yin and a yang to everything. There are some on social media and who may report things that are not factual for whatever reason that they're doing it. But the bottom line, you keep his face in the news. That's important when someone is missing and they have no idea what happened. You heard him. We have no idea. We don't know what happened to him. We haven't seen anything criminal that would lead us that way. I get that, but he like vanished. Like he didn't take his phone. He just ran away. It doesn't make sense. It's not sitting well with me tonight. Like just vanishing. It doesn't work that way. Now, we also heard that they found some glasses in the last couple of days, and they're still investigating it. That too, I'm not clear on that. Like, how long would it take to figure out if they're his glasses? You know, we have pictures with different glasses. We have parents. What glasses are at home, right? Because he's gone. Does he have more than one pair? Where are they? What do they look like? Okay, let's.
So just to reiterate, for anyone who's coming in, he's talking about the glasses again. They are not Sebastian's glasses. So that has been confirmed.
Great news tonight for us, though. Joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, reporter with Scripps News Nashville, Nick Barris is with us, covering the story unlike anyone else and unlike any other station or organization on this one. Nick, great to see you again tonight. How would you describe where this investigation is? I see this as a mystery. It's baffling to me. Is this a criminal investigation? Is this a missing persons investigation? How is this? Is there an ongoing search?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this right now?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Vinny, I agree with you and your take on this. My take is they say that there is no sign of any foul play at this point, but they are not ruling it out. And I couldn't agree with you more that a child does not wander off on their own and simply vanish without any trace unless someone else is involved. That's my take. But they say at this point, parents, everything they've done with them have been vetted, and that they're not considered suspects at this point, and they've cooperated, no one else. But they also were very pointed today. There have been some reports saying, oh, well, the parents have been cleared. No, wrong. No one, according to Eric Craddock, who is the chief deputy with the Sheriff's Department, who's leading this investigation.
Yeah, it's right what you're saying. So although, you know, he was at pains, the sheriff, to say there's no evidence of suspicious circumstances and the parents have been really cooperative and all those things that he said, he has not said they've been cleared completely, you know, because nobody's been cleared yet. They're looking into everyone until they actually find Sebastian and find out what's happened to him. Everyone is a suspect. Even, you know, the world in his dog is a suspect at the moment because they haven't got a bloody clue what's happened to this boy. You know, so yeah, maybe there's no evidence of suspicious circumstances, but there's also no evidence that there weren't.
Has been cleared. No one has been cleared. They consider all options. And I would say right now it continues to be somewhat of a search, but they're waiting for more tips to come in. And frankly, just like you and I think authorities are frustrated and befuddled.
So, and that's a great distinction, right? Cooperating versus does not equal cleared. Cooperating does not equal cleared. So that's because they don't know what happened. How could you clear people if you don't know what happened? It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense, right? So describe for us the house he was living in, the neighborhood he was living in, the geography, the topography, the population, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. This is I'd say an upscale neighborhood, very nice homes. He lived in a nice home, a neighborhood residential like anyone else. It's a typical residential neighborhood, nothing out in the country off alone. Neighbors all within.
Have you noticed all these cases that we've been looking at recently? They all come from good homes, nice homes. You know, Madeline Soto lived in that nice, supposedly sort of nice apartment complex. It's Samantha Murphy and her family. They live in a lovely, you know, $1 million house. Riley Strain seemed to come from a very good. Now, is this because mainstream media and then mainstream media pick up on these cases first, don't they? Social media does follow the mainstream media, I think. Is this because they only concentrate on people who are from nice backgrounds, and what do you think, like poor people don't get a look in? I'm just thinking about it in my head, but no, I don't think that's true, because Summer Wells did not come from a brilliant background. And there was a lot of attention on her, wasn't it? Which that all seems to have gone cold now, of course, doesn't it? Poor Summer, who you know, I don't think Summer is alive, but I don't think she was. I think she may have died by accident, Summer. And I do feel for Candace. I think she's really struggling with it, but maybe she does know what happened to her. But anyway, that's it. I need to do eventually another video on that, because the thing is, so many cases.
Close proximity, some common greenways in between. What's interesting about this neighborhood, as upscale and nice as it is, there are absolutely no street lights, okay, or sidewalks. And so at night, that neighborhood is pitch dark. And so one of the questions many people had was, why didn't any of these homes, many of which have security cameras, Ring cameras, why did none of them seem to pick up any video of anything that night? Almost anything. And I will say I was one reporter. I'm the only reporter so far to have aired what was some video from a nearby home capturing what appears to be lights, possibly flashlights, in the proximity of the home the night he disappeared. Now, law enforcement, not long after I aired that, okay, one, contacted me asking me where I got it, and I cannot reveal my source. And second, said that at this point, there's no evidentiary value to that video. Well, today in my interview, and by the way, you showed some of the press conference or news conference, I had a chance to sit down one-on-one for a good period of time just with Eric Craddock, he and I. And he said at this point, yeah, no evidentiary value to that video I had that shows that you see here what appears to be some lights, possibly flashlights outside the home. But he said,
so yeah, this was always shown it on here. This was this video, wasn't it, that did seem to show flashlights of two people, and then one went back to the house. Now, he's supposed to have left with a small flashlight. That was the other thing he left with. How strange. Could you imagine, really? Come on. A 15-year-old autistic boy. So he goes out, he remembers his glasses, but he doesn't take his shoes, but he takes a flashlight. But I suppose it was dark, maybe, but where did he think he was going? You know, I don't know, unless he just went out in a fit of temper.
Says that's the way it stands right now. And depending on what develops, that video and those lights could become more important to the case, depending on what they learn moving forward. So, and by the way, in terms of what information they've shared, I couldn't agree with you more. They did say that they found some glasses in the area, wondering if they are Sebastian's. That shouldn't take any time at all to figure out. And they didn't say if they had. That should be able to be determined almost instantaneously. And I'm not sure why they haven't, or why they haven't revealed that information yet.
Because the community's searching. They want to help, right? They want to help. Everybody's looking for him. From the interviews, his dad is worried to death. So let's get back to that light for just a moment, though, because the way you described the neighborhood, pitch black. So you're seeing some light at night. And this is what? This is like 3 a.m?
Yeah, it's right around 3 a.m. It's within the scope of the time they believe Sebastian left the home, which would have been, they think, midnight to 6 a.m. the next morning when he was discovered missing. So yeah, it's dark. And again, I don't want to oversell it. It's been analyzed apparently by the TBI and law enforcement. At this point, they say it's no evidentiary value, but as far as I know, it's the only video of any kind that shows what appears to be some lights in the back.
How can they say it's no evidentiary value? I mean, it's so, it's showing something going on there at the time that maybe Sebastian left. Or is this somebody coming to the house? Is this somebody being, because of course there's all this thing about the stepfather. He wasn't supposed to be at the house. He was away working, remember. So remember, the mother has passed the lie detector test as well. She passed the lie detector test. The stepfather was not offered a lie detector test because it was proven that he was nowhere in the area. The police are satisfied that he was not in the area at the time. And a lot of people say, oh, no, he was there and that. Well, maybe he was, but the police, that's not what the police are saying. Whether they'll say something different from that later on. But no, they said to him, you don't need to do a lie detector test because we know you weren't there, which again is a bit strange because even if they thought he couldn't have done anything to Sebastian, they could have given him a lie detector test to see if he knew who had, if it was the mother and she'd told him, or, it is, as you said earlier, Ocean, it is a total rabbit hole case. There's so many conflicting things.
Who knows? Maybe there's some kind of reflection. But if you watch what I have there, you see lights, 2 subjects moving, and it appears to be something. But again, at this point, and the parents have talked to law enforcement as well. They say, we don't believe that this is a key piece of evidence in the case. But today, Eric Craddock said that's the way it stands now. But they don't know what they don't know. And with time, that could become significant, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty significant considering there's nothing else out there. Like light just doesn't appear. It has to be
Nothing
something.
else. Yeah.
It has to be something. Like people don't just vanish and lights just don't appear out of nowhere. Do we know if he had a flashlight that night?
Right. Yeah, the word from his mother when she went to look for him, what they discovered missing, the way I understand it, is a flashlight, and that he left without his shoes, barefoot, which again is something that's very confounding because his own father said as a child.
Look at that. What a horrible job that is. What a horrible job. So, yeah, they're saying again about him leaving without shoes. Now, the mother could have said, oh, no, he took his shoes. Nobody could have proved differently because none of those police knew how many pairs of shoes Sebastian had. So she could not, she could have, if she was trying to cover something up, surely she would have said, oh, yeah, he had his shoes on. But I suppose that might have got more, difficult to She'd have to describe the shoes, I suppose. And I don't know. My head hurts with this case. It's another one, isn't it?
Sebastian walked barefoot into a fire ant hill pile, and they just ate him up. And he never forgot that experience. And from that day on, as a child who suffers from autism, that stuck with him, and he would not go outside without his shoes and socks. So you're telling me in the middle of the night, he grabs a flashlight, walks out of his home barefoot? It just doesn't make sense. Possibly he went out quickly to check on something with the idea of coming back in, but obviously he never did. So that's something kind of perplexing about how all that played out. And did he take a flashlight, and why? What was he looking for? Where did he go? But dogs going outside just the general area of the home where you would expect Minnie to find his scent because he lived there. Anything off the property where he would have walked, dogs didn't find anything. They supposedly maybe tracked to a nearby pond, which they then not only had divers go into, but then drained and found nothing. It's, again, as though he vanished into thin air.
Nick Barris, I'm sure we're going to be speaking again about this. I really appreciate your time today. And I know you're like working overtime like you do every day, tracking these stories. Sure. Great to speak with you. Scripps News Nashville, Nick Barris. Check it out, folks. His stuff is online as well if you're around the country. It's great, great work. Thanks so much, Nick.
Thank you, Vinny.
Let's talk more about this search. Joining us from the Gulf Shore of Alabama, Press and Communications Officer for the United Cajun Navy, Kevin LaFond, is with us. And the reason we asked you to...
Oh, here's that, this United Cajun Navy. Oh, there's a YouTube war going on about this, isn't there, with some of the creators. I'm not going into it because I don't like to get involved in drama on YouTube, and I don't like to get involved in, these egos. I do think there's a bit of ego, like between everybody. Anyway, I'm just zipping my lips, not saying anything. But this is the Cajun Navy, and they helped search for Riley, didn't they? Riley Strain, and that's what they do. They go out and help searches. But some people are condemning of them, and I don't know enough about it, and I'm not going there. At the end of the day, that's what they do, and anyone who helps in the search, in my eyes, is a help.
To be honest, as you guys were involved at some point in the search here, give us a little bit of the backstory, Kevin, on how the United Cajun Navy in Alabama ends up in Tennessee searching for Sebastian.
Well, it all started with Riley Strain. I appreciate having me on today. Riley Strain's search, as you know, ended it the way it did with us discovering where he was as a group, all of the searchers together. We don't claim any fame to that, but we were part of it. There was an outcry on social media and to us directly from the parents to get involved with the search here. And that's what we did with the search for Sebastian. We got ourselves organized, and we were together. We had everything there anyway. So we said, you know what, we're here, so let's do this.
So you said the parents. Is that both the father and the mother and the stepfather? Like all three contacted you?
It was primarily Seth. Seth asked us to come.
Okay, so the biological father. Okay. Now, I also understand that you had to call off your search efforts because of some threats. Can you tell us some of the details there? What's the nature of these threats? Is this people who don't want you on their property because it's private property?
Oh, he's going to tell a bit about what's happened. So, yeah, because they have withdrawn from this search now. Because there's been all this, I don't even know how to describe it. There's been this sort of hullabaloo, hasn't there, about it all? Which is a shame, because the person who gets lost in it all is Sebastian Rogers, and that's what winds me up about all the Peter Folding thing and the SGI, and it's not about them. It's not about them. It's not about the police. It's not about who was right and who wasn't. It's about Nicola, and I just feel like these egos it's just horrible, to be honest.
Is this people who don't want you to find something? What exactly is that all about?
Well, there was a private property and also state and federal land issue at the beginning that we had to get permission for to be on those lands. But we did get permission. We got the okay to do that. So that was never an issue. We had some bad actors that were showing up in person and also harassing online and through phone calls. We were getting all kinds of messages saying that we're going to be doxxed, we're going to be run out of town, we're going to be bullied. And then the death threats came. And that's when we got real serious about, having to reformat how we're going about this and think about the safety of the volunteers.
Oh my God, death threats. Anyway, I don't know all the details of it and that, but death threats are not good, are they? Whatever people think of them or don't think of them, you don't go giving people death threats.
It really was to that point. So now we have to shift gears and move into more of a private phase where we're not forward facing.
Let me ask you this. The people who are threatening you, stopping a search for a missing child, did you provide that information to law enforcement? Because I would think if someone's trying to stop you from finding this child, maybe that's someone law enforcement should be looking at.
And I would say that you're drawing a reasonable conclusion there for sure. And yes, the authorities were notified. We have incident reports with the MNPD. They're the ones that came out to the original call when our folks were basically barricaded inside of a hotel room.
Wow. Barricaded inside of a hotel room because you're in town searching for a missing teenager?
What was that?
Yeah, and that's very strange.
Just listen to that
again. Did you provide that information to law enforcement? Because I would think if someone's trying to stop you from finding this child, maybe that's someone law enforcement should be looking at.
Yeah, so I wonder who he's talking about. Who was stopping him looking for a missing? And who would stop someone looking for a missing child? Surely it's just all about finding the missing child.
And I would say that you're drawing a reasonable conclusion there for sure. And yes, the authorities were notified. We have incident reports with the MNPD. They're the ones that came out to the original call when our folks were basically barricaded inside of a hotel room.
Wow. Barricaded inside of a hotel room because you're in town searching for a missing teenager?
Well, there you go. Barricaded in, well, that's what he's saying anyway. We've only got his word for it, of course, but I'm not sure why he would lie, but anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's very strange. It's never happened to us before, and certainly with what you're reporting earlier about there being so much cooperation, this being so difficult really didn't add up.
That is, I've never heard it. Like, you obviously haven't come across this. You guys roll into town. You're not getting paid, are you?
I just wish he would say why they had to barricade themselves in the hotel room. Who was threatening them? Come on, let's have the names.
Yeah, like you're rolling into town trying to help.
We're volunteers. We do this all around the country. When the families reach out and ask for help, try to do as much as we can where we can. In this case, we were close by. So it made sense to go ahead and get involved and start helping. But it brought some bad folks out of the woodwork, and we're not quite sure why that is.
It's very cryptic, isn't it? Maybe I should look into it. It's just, look at his face, Vinny's face. Yeah, because they were in the area. They literally were in the area. And then if Sebastian's father apparently asked them to help, why wouldn't they go and help? So who would try and get them not to help? I wish he would say who it was.
And let's hope law enforcement follows up on that and figures that out, because I mean, the obvious conclusion, again, if you're trying to stop people from searching for a missing teenager, you're afraid, oh, maybe they may find him. So was there a particular place where you were searching at the time all this started to happen? And if so, is that a place that you were unable to search?
Our searches were hampered, is the probably polite way to put it. We didn't get to do nearly as much as we wanted to, but it really didn't matter where we were. It seemed that this trouble followed us.
That is extremely unfortunate, especially given the nature of what's at stake here, a missing child. There he is, Sebastian Rogers. Kevin LaFon from the United Cajun Navy. Appreciate your time tonight. And on behalf of families, we all appreciate volunteers coming together to help families in need, people that are so desperate that are missing loved ones. So I hope this doesn't deter you, and I don't think it will, from continuing the work that you guys do.
Not at all. If I could say anything, I'd say, everybody be hopeful. Volunteers are rallying together, us and others, and it doesn't matter who's front and center. We're going to get this done.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Okay. So, that basically is it so far, isn't it? I know the thing is, he says, notice it's all men. It's supposed to be women that bicker and, gossip. And from what I've seen lately over on social media, etc., they're all males that are all arguing and having a go at each other. But anyway, that's nothing. It's not something I'm really interested in, except if it's resulted in the fact that there's less people out looking for Sebastian. That's not a good thing, is it? So very strange, very, very strange. So that's where we are with Sebastian Rogers. That's all we know. Hopefully they'll go out searching again today, isn't it? Because it's more or less daytime in America now, I think. So hopefully they'll be out searching again, and hopefully, they will find something, because although the guy, the sheriff who was talking at the press conference, I'm sure he said that they did feel, or somebody said on one of the interviews I've watched, that they felt that, or maybe they were just saying they hoped Sebastian was still alive rather than they thought he was still alive. I mean, obviously every day that passes, it just looks worse and worse, doesn't it? If they're normally with missing children, if they haven't found them within a day, a couple of days, they don't find them, do they? Or possibly there's been the odd one here and there. I think we saw somebody talking about that, didn't we? There's the odd one here and there that turn up, but not many. But anyway, I'll bring you any updates as I get them. I'm going to love you and leave you now, because I haven't had my dinner yet, so I'm going to go and have something to eat. All of you that are feeling ill, there's a few of you that are a little bit under the weather. I hope you're all feeling better soon. Oh dear, yeah, get a hot toddy and go to bed. I think really when you feel under the weather, you've just got to sleep it off, haven't you? And I'm hoping that, I'm not sure why David wasn't here. David, if you're watching this later, I hope you're okay. See how you get missed now when you're not here, because you normally are here. So the rest of you, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all you at home that are here with us. Thank you so much, and remember to live and love wisely, carefully. And as always, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Oh, hi Wesley. Sorry, I'm just going now. Adios. Good night.